what's happening in Gaza is indeed a tragedy, no doubt about that. And but we really don't have any choice, and the willingness and the determination of the Israeli public, government, and military is clear and strong about that. We have to eliminate Hamas one way or another, politically and mostly militarily.
Today is the final day of the planned pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas, but it seems it could be extended. Obviously, that would mean more hostages are being released. But what does that mean for Israel's goal of removing the threat from Hamas? Meir Elran is a former IDF Deputy Director of Military Intelligence, and we can speak to him now. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well.
It was put to us, I think, in the Sunday Times or the Saturday Times, Meir, that it's possible for Israel to pursue the bid to get the hostages back, and it's possible to pursue the bid to destroy Hamas. It's very, very, very difficult to pursue both of those aims at the same time.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Unfortunately, this is a very complex situation. And right now, we really don't know exactly what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow, not to speak about the next few weeks. And I would think that there are two options, or two basic scenarios for us to think about. The first one, and both sides are talking about that through the media and also through the intermediary, that this present stage will continue, at least for a short while, few days, and possibly also more than that. Until the entire or most of the kidnapped hostages would be released. The rest of them, they have not been released so far in the three stages. This is something that is accepted to Israel. I don't know exactly what the position of Hamas will be. And very important parties are involved in that, including the United States, very actively, with a personal involvement of the President of the United States. And so this is hopeful, and this is also a possible option. There is at the same time another option, that the whole process, or this process, will end abruptly, and we will be back to the fighting. And Israel is ready for that, and we'll see what happens. There is also a third option, that this is kind of a mix, kind of a scenario that, one day hostages release and they pause, and there may be another day, and then resumption of the hostilities. I think that everything is really open, and it's very hard to predict what's going to happen.
Can Israel morally continue doing what it was doing before the pause? Because it does feel that that phrase, the window of legitimacy, has been used to describe Israel's ability to go after Hamas in the way it chooses, which does involve the collateral damage of Gaza, the killing of civilians. Is it not the case, Meir, I wonder, that the global opinion is shifted, that post any truce, post the pause, it will not be possible kind of morally, diplomatically, for Israel to pound Gaza the way it did before the pause?
Well, the way I see it is that there is no major change in the situation. What's happening in Gaza is indeed a tragedy, no doubt about that. And but we really don't have any choice, and the willingness and the determination of the Israeli public, government, and military is clear and strong about that. We have to eliminate Hamas one way or another, politically and mostly militarily. And I think that Israel is determined, the people are determined to do that, whatever it takes.
One other question for you, Meir, which is, we heard today Hamas may not know where all the hostages are. Hamas may not hold the hostages. 30 to 40 will be held by Islamic Jihad. Some may be held by people who have nothing directly to do with Hamas. Hamas is a very strange organization. It's not an orderly thing. And some hostages may have died in the bombardment as well. Is there a number, do you think, the Israeli government have, of what is an acceptable for the number of hostages to get back? Because it seems unlikely that all will be able to be returned, not least because even Hamas don't know where some of them are.
Well, you're correct in assuming that there is a lot of ambiguity and unclarity about the situation. This is typical of any war, unfortunately. And this is not a normal kind of a situation that you can understand what's happening and you know things, and sometimes you do not. Here, ambiguity is the name of the game. And Hamas is also playing a very, very tough, cruel game in this respect, of course, to shatter the morale and the psychological standing of the people in Israel. At the same time, and I'm saying it again, Israel is determined, despite of the difficulties and the challenges here in this respect, to do away with Hamas. You have to understand that this is a very, very basic trait as far as the Israelis are concerned right now. Following what the atrocity of October 7th, the mindset in Israel is very, very clear and very, very determined. And we understand the challenges, we understand the consequences. We know where we are. We are still very, very confident about the international support to Israel on the major thing of dismantling Hamas. This is a very, very important element in the equation. And hence, despite of the difficulties, despite of the unknown, I think that one should expect, and I expect very much, that Israel, once the pause is ended, will continue with the destruction of Hamas, no matter what it costs.
Meir Elran, thank you for joining us today. He's the former IDF Deputy Director of Military Intelligence.